Good morning, Unity and Marin. Welcome to our 9:30 meditation. We will be our Teospaye this morning, as my Native American teacher says, those who breathe together. So for 20 minutes, we'll sit together in the silence. Use any form of meditation that you're familiar with. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath, the observation of the breath. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings realize their true nature is love. We now have a 10-minute break. The service starts at 10. Thank you all.
Renegade monks, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Isn't it lovely how cool it is today? I'm loving the cool weather. It's making me very happy. So welcome, everyone. I'm Rev DeeAnn Morency. I am the senior minister here at Unity in Marin, and it is my joy to be here with you this morning and to be here with you with our fabulous music team. We have Dallas Croft in the house. He's gonna lift us high today. So county guidelines have changed regarding masks wearing, and we here at Unity in Marin have been following those guidelines. So masks are no longer currently required indoors. It is up to individuals if they wish to mask or not. Okay, so again, we are following the county guidelines. We are in the midst of very low transmission here in Marin, right? We're saying yes. So again, this has been a moving target for several years now, so just stay tuned. But for now, that's the policy that we have here at Unity in Marin. We have a song that our very own Carolyn Gauthier wrote, which is, she does this, which I love, every time we have something like a book study or something that we're doing, and right now we're in week 4 of our book study on Adam Grant's Think Again. Carolyn writes a song that ties in thematically to what it is that we're working on. So Dallas, can we give Dallas some love here? Is going to lead us in the song. I'm going to invite everyone to stand as they're willing and able.
Are your thoughts all true? Think again, are they really you? Think again, open up your eyes. Think again, leave the past behind. When we were children, we thought like children and became should be. Now it's clear what we held dear was unreal, not who we're meant to be. Think again, are your thoughts true? Think again, leave the past. Think again, open up your eyes. Think again, leave the past behind. We can be humble, admit we're wrong. Embrace the grace, pain that comes with doubt. We do not know the truth. Look inside. Are your thoughts all true? Think again, are they really you? Think again, open up your eyes. Think again, leave the past behind.
Oh, I want everyone to just stay standing for a second and look at the chairs that you're sitting on. Just look at them. Look at the chairs. Look at the carpet. Look around you at the carpet. What do you notice? They're clean. Oh, yes. So what that does mean, though, is that we cannot bring food and drink into the sanctuary because we're going to keep these chairs clean, yes? We're going to keep the carpet clean, yes? Okay. So yeah, we hadn't been very rigorous about that because of the state of the carpet, but now that it's all been cleaned, we're going to go back to maintaining and being kind to this beautiful, beautiful facility that we have. So, is Dory around? Dory, I want you to just come out here, come where the live stream folks can see you too. So, this is Dory Eisenhower, if you guys don't know who she is. And so today's flower arrangement, which was lovingly done by Sarah Gaspari, is in honor of all the work that Dory does for this community. And if you guys didn't see it, in the very early part of September, Dory worked some magic. And in the IJ, can you show the next slide, Chris? In the IJ, we had the whole top of the spread of what the religious communities were doing for Sunday, and this was us on the very top of it, and that was Dory. So if you're new here, welcome. We are a community that is centered and anchored in love. We are centered and anchored in truly looking at what it means to be an open and inclusive community, looking at what it means for us to show up as love for each other, for ourselves, because that's what we know and believe in Unity's teaching, that we are each the individualized divinity made manifest in time and in space. And can we know that for ourselves, and can we know it for each other? And so we come together in this sacred container to learn, to grow, to stretch, to comfort, to be present to witness, all of it from this open-hearted space. So whether you're here with us in person or you're watching us online, I know you people at home with your coffee in your pajamas, way to go, we are still all community, whether it's part of the virtual community or whether it's happening here in the actual sanctuary. So if you're new and you'd like to stay up to date with what's happening at Unity in Marin, you can come into our text service. So you want to text WELCOME to 415-991-7111. And if you're here and you know you're here, you can test loop, and that just lets us know that you were here. But you can also just text me if there's something, a question you have or anything. That is a way that you can actually stay in touch with me as well. Today, for those of you who are online, and for any of you who need to skedaddle and get home, or you've got something going on, at 1 o'clock we are doing our virtual courtyard. It's a beautiful community that gathers online. They connect, they inquire, they share with each other. It's facilitated by our prayer chaplains, by our emeriti, and it is really a beautiful opportunity to deepen into whatever might get stirred up during the service today, because I like to stir things up, right? So this is a safe space for you to be able to connect with others, and it's all happened virtually. You can find the Zoom link on our website. So I'm going to invite Dallas to come back up again. She's going to lead us in a song, which will then lead us into our opening prayer. I'm going to move this so we can see you.
Stickers on a suitcase, tell me where you've been. Could this be the one place you don't leave again? All the best intentions lead you down my path of wishing you could take your lame excuses back. But nobody's perfect. How could anyone be? Nobody's perfect. There are no mistakes in life, that's what I find. If they want to tear us down, they can get in line. Proving something to them is way beyond my reach. At least if we screw up, we do it honestly. 'Cause nobody's perfect. How could anyone be? Nobody's perfect, especially me. Sorry goes a long, long way, but sometimes it's hard to say. Nobody's perfect. Proving something in the world is way beyond my reach. At least if we screw up, we do it honestly. And nobody's perfect. How could anyone be? Nobody's perfect, especially me. Sorry goes a long, long way. Sometimes it's hard to say. Nobody's perfect.
It's what we're working on, right? That we cannot be perfect and it's okay. That we're in process. We welcome the process. That is the revelation of our true nature and our true name. So I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains to rise. I'm going to invite the emeriti, anyone who anchors prayer consciousness. If that is your calling, I'm going to invite you to encircle this community. Those of you who are at home who stand in that consciousness, I invite you to stand as well. I'm going to invite Elizabeth Drew to come forward and to place the prayer box on the table. And I'm going to invite us all to just take a breath together. As we continue into this magnificent prayer field that has been established, we quiet our mind, we open our heart, and we just allow whatever might have come before this moment to fall away, and whatever might be coming later today to fall away. And we allow present moment awareness, the opportunity to be here right now. So we breathe and we are breathed. How good it is to quiet and to still, opening into the truth of beingness. And so from this space, this place, I recognize the one power and the one presence, the one life and the one love. That truly is all that there is, that is palpable, that is present, that is the living expression of love, of grace, of joy, of beauty and harmony. I know that it is always available and accessible, I know it is my life. I know it is the life of each person here. I know it is the life of all who are on their way. And I know that it is the life of those that we are placing in this prayer container today. Anyone in the path of Hurricane Ian. We are placing in this container all in Indonesia who have been impacted by what happened at the soccer match yesterday. We are placing in this container everything within ourselves that is seeking to be healed, all the spaces and the places where we don't feel like we are enough. How good it is to lay our burdens down. How good it is to rest in the assurance of all that is possible. So I see and I know that love is palpably present, that it is showing up as connection and community, that wherever there is this impact of the larger events overtaking us, whether it be hurricanes or panic, that space, that place that is connection is alive right now. It is enlivened within each of us right now. I see and I know health and wholeness for all who are in need of healing. I see and I know abundance and prosperity for all who are struggling. And I see and I know that this magnificent community is anchoring love for each other and for this planet. And that we get to show up in time and in space as harmony and grace. So I invite us each to just feel that love overflowing, connecting outward, connecting with each other, spreading beyond this geographic location, connecting with the virtual community and beyond, encircling this planet with love, light, peace. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Thank you, Reverend DeeAnn. And good morning, Unity and Marin. I'm James Henry. I'm your platform assistant this morning. Prayer support. I see my prayer chaplain here today. Thank you for your support. In-person prayer requests, you can always fill out a slip and put it in the prayer box. You can call the office, and you can also go online. Your prayers will be held for 60 days, and then some. All right, we have a mission here at Unity. Well, we say it together. We are a spiritual community committed to authenticity and the expression of love and support for each other in living an awakened, enlightened life. And we have core commitments as a spiritual community. Say it together. We connect with spirit, inspiring each other, the community, and the world. We grow in consciousness through education, healing, and prayer. We serve spirit, community, and the world with love, joy, and a sense of adventure. Yeah, we're thinking about you, Charcel. All right, I'd like to invite Shay Sun for our inspirational reading.
Good morning. It is now time for our inspirational reading, a time to let these words become part of your morning reflection, your morning meditation or prayer. I invite you in this moment to take a deep breath and to pause, to close your eyes if you wish, I invite you to let these words become your words. The affirmation for today is, I release all that no longer serves me. Just as a home can begin to feel cluttered when filled with belongings that no longer serve a purpose, my inner life can become shambles of outgrown thoughts and feelings. My mind can feel tangled with obsolete beliefs. My heart may feel heavy when clogged with old resentments and hurts. Today, I take an inventory of what I think and how I feel and release what no longer serves my mind and heart, gently and compassionately. I release thoughts and beliefs that no longer match my understanding of truth. I let go of feelings of fear, anger, and bitterness that keeps me from knowing the forgiving and comforting love of God. And as I release, I create space for my new thoughts and feelings that heal and bless me. And now, let us take this time of silence. And once again, the affirmation for today is, I release all that no longer serves me. Please know this with me. I release all that no longer serves me. Thank you.
Why do we isolate each other? All the walls we build between us makes it so hard to be together. And how can we tear at one another when the thing we have in common is an uncommon love? Walls can fall, prayers can mend, so why can't we reach across the line and two sides of the truth. We've a middle ground in common. We have an uncommon love. Time can heal, hearts can mend. So why can't we reach across the line and touch each other when? Will we ever learn that the thing we have in common is an uncommon love? Is an uncommon love? An uncommon love.
Oh, Carole King wrote that song a while ago, huh? You would think we would know better. You would think we would have learned something. And yet I look at the world today and I just see even more polarization, not less. I see more resistance, not less. So we're in week 4 of Adam Grant's Think Again. And what we're going to be talking about today is bitter rivals. And that song, Dallas, was just so perfect when she sent me her song selections. I was like, yes, that is it exactly. The part we forget about is the love. And we focus instead on where we see as being differences. So I have been speaking, last week we talked about how when we are trying to create a space where we can actually be present with each other, where we can actually be reaching across that quote unquote line, that what we're invited into is to stand in this space where I see you, I respect you, tell me more, I can think again. That part of the invitation that Adam Grant and what we've been working with for these 4 weeks is that we are constantly being invited to think again. We are constantly being invited to take the things that we know for so sure and reimagine them. And that is the evolutionary impulse. That is the divinity that you are, seeking to show up more fully, because the divinity that you are is all love. The divinity that you are is anchored in the truth that no matter who you're interacting with, they are divine, even when they annoy you, even when they don't agree with you. That they are still divine. Can we see that in each other? And last week I was talking about the power of creating a safe space. And I was talking about it in connection with race. I was talking about it in connection with the LGBTQ plus community. I was talking about it in connection with age. I was talking about it in connection with being female. I was talking about it in the connection of being pretty much anybody on this planet, even our straight cis males who we love, who may be white, right? Even they are impacted by the unsafe environment that our world often is. And so it's something that invites all of us to show up more fully, because what we believe in unity is that if I make the space within myself, I am simultaneously, it's not a ripple, you guys, it doesn't take any time to go somewhere, I am simultaneously creating space for everyone on this planet. It is instantaneous because consciousness does not know time and space. So when I have that aha moment of revelation, that revelation is everywhere. And so I believe that as a spiritual community who is here for authentic living, that is part of our mission, to be the anchor for those kinds of aha moments so that we truly are creating a world that works for everyone. So what a safe space is that it's actually a room for conflict. Take a breath, spiritual community, it's okay, right? We talked about this, that lack of conflict is not peace. That conflict is actually an important component of how we all grow. Now, we want it to be respectful. We want it to be loving. We want it to come from the space of, I respect you, I see you, I am willing to listen to you. But it doesn't mean that we have to agree with each other. But it does mean that we create a larger space to hold who and what our differences might be. So we're welcoming differences. We're not saying, oh no, they're not like us, so we're going to put them over there. We're saying, oh, you're not like us. Come and play. Because that's what's going to enable each of us to grow. So, and I want to be clear, when I talk about a diverse community, I am not talking about that all of a sudden this entire community becomes a gay church, or becomes a black church, or becomes whatever, right? I am talking about true diversity. I am talking that we have a mix of all different types of people, sizes, shapes, colors, sexual orientation, gender identity, that is all part of what we are creating. That is what true diversity means. Now, you get an amen on that? And I know that can be scary, because it means, like, sometimes we identify safe space with meaning everybody looks like me or everybody thinks like me, and that creates a safe space. But I'm inviting all of us, and Adam Grant is inviting all of us, and I think the world is inviting all of us to understand that a safe space can actually exist. It has to exist in order to truly be a safe space, in that liminal shifting of that uncomfortableness, that we are each challenging each other. And the way we do that is we anchor it all in trust and in safety. And how we create that trust and safety is our work. How do we tell each other, I am a safe space for you? How do we do that for each other? And that's something as a community we're all going to get to grow into. I don't have all the answers. I admit it. We all have to grow into that. So one of the things that we are doing, if you noticed, we talked about pronouns last week. We're going to have a roundtable discussion after service today in the Unity Hall around pronouns. But we have pronoun pins out there for you to wear when you're here at service. And they're here to let the LGBTQ plus community know that we are what? We're a safe space. Right? We're a safe space. We're not going to make an assumption about your gender identity. We are open to being flexible. And I know it's hard. This gender identity component is the leading edge of consciousness right now. And guess what? That's where Unity lives, on the leading edge of consciousness. That is part of who we are as a community, that we are always looking for what is that next space that invites healing for the world, that invites healing for ourselves, that allows us to become a larger container of love. I used this quote last week. Can we truly know that these, whatever people believe over here, and these, whatever people believe over here, are all the words of the living God? Can we be a large enough container to make space that even if it doesn't personally impact me, I can still care? It's still important, even if it doesn't directly impact my personal world. And part of what I think my invitation for myself always is when I become a safer space for whatever marginalized group there is out there, then that means my world gets bigger. It means I'm actually inviting new energy and new people and new perspectives into my world, which means that I get to grow. So while it also grows the community, it's personally fulfilling to step into this space, even in the challenges of it, because we're stepping into some sort of unknown. So Adam Grant talks about this week is really all about rivals and how all of a sudden we find ourselves on either end of the line, right? On either side of a dividing line. And he says a rivalry exists whenever we reserve special animosity for a group we see as competing with us for resources or threatening our identity. Now, in unity, we know that when we see something like competing with us for resources, that immediately says to me that that is lack consciousness. The idea that there somehow isn't enough. The idea that somehow, because someone else is gaining a right, a privilege, that somehow takes away from my rights and privileges, that somehow there's a very limited pool of rights and privileges, and if someone else gets a right and privilege, then someone loses a right or privilege. Is that actually true? No, we talked last week about Rumi. There's a field. I'll meet you there. The field is infinite. The field is large enough and wide enough and deep enough for everybody. And then this other piece about threatening our identity. And this distinction, again, that Adam Grant and that I'm hammering, is that all too often our identity is based on our opinions, not our values. And I have to say, as I've watched what's happened in the aftermath of Florida, and I've watched the partisanship that has arisen around trying to bring aid and help to people whose lives have literally been devastated. That's not about values. That's about opinions. That is not about values. That is not about the value that we care for one another. That is about something else altogether. And both sides are playing that card. Both sides are. I watch people who are like, well, Rick Santos didn't want to give money to New Yorkers when Sandy hit, so Florida shouldn't get any money now. And I'm like, okay, folks, these are people who are left without their homes. This isn't a rivalry. This is about our values. What do we actually value? And I certainly value making sure that those people have a place to sleep and that they're like being taken care of. That to me is the value. I don't care what their politics are. I don't care who they voted for. That's not important. That's an opinion. That's not a value. So rivalries come when we think they're threatening our identity, when our identity is based on our opinions. And this lack consciousness thing, that there somehow isn't enough to go around, is something that I really want us all to be sitting with this week. Where are you seeing lack consciousness? That if somehow I make space over here, that it somehow means that I'm losing space over here. Where are you thinking that you are limited, that the world is limited, that possibility is limited, that this idea that we truly can make a world that works for everyone is an airy-fairy dream, rather than something that I personally believe is reality that we are doing right now? Because if we're caught in lack consciousness, we don't think that there's enough. We don't think there's enough love. We don't think there's enough resources. The worst thing is we don't think there's enough compassion. And I don't personally believe that, even when I don't see it. And that's what we do in unity. We see past the circumstance. We see past what might be showing up in time and space. We see through that right to the very heart of God, the heart of the divine principles, and we say, even in the midst of that destruction, I know that peace is available to every single person in Florida right now. I know that a sense of grounded and centeredness is available no matter how thrown off people are, because the world that they lived in has literally been turned over. So this cracked me up, because we take our rivalry so seriously. Is a hot dog a sandwich? People get crazy for things, right? Like, is a hot dog a sandwich? People get so intense about whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich or not, right? That not only do they will actually make the people who disagree with them suffer, right? No, let me say this again. So when they did this study, they asked people, you could give $3 to everyone who agrees with you, whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not. And that would mean that you gave $4 to the people who disagree with you. Or you could give $2 to everyone who agreed with you and only give $1 to everyone who disagreed with you. Now, why wouldn't you want to give $3 to everybody who agreed with you? It's more than $2, isn't it? Because we're focused on the fact that we want to make those other people suffer. So the fact that they were going to get $4 meant that we are not going to choose that option. Look at the percentage of people that chose to take less for themselves and the people who agreed with them, so the people who disagreed with them would get even less. That's crazy, right? But it's not about actually, well, who agrees with us. It's about the fact that people don't agree with us. That's the place where we get really focused. So we don't just preach the virtues of our side. We find self-worth in prosecuting the vices of our rivals. It's not just about I'm right. It's also about you are wrong. And I actually feel like I am a better human because I know you are wrong. And when we live from that space, it's almost impossible for us to find common ground, because we are focused on I'm right, you're wrong, and my identity is wrapped up in how wrong you are. So I will never be able to see that you're not maybe as wrong as I thought, because that means that I'm not as good as I thought I was. It means my value isn't as much. That humans were crazy sometimes, right? So he went after the Red Sox and the Yankees. So for those who are not sports fans, this is a rivalry that goes back generations, right? And he talks about in the book about how he was at a Red Sox game, and they started to chant, we hate the Yankees, we hate the Yankees in the middle of the game. And the Yankees weren't even playing against the Red Sox. Right? The rivalry is so intense that it doesn't matter whether the Yankees are actually the team on the field. And he said it spread through the entire stadium, and everybody was chanting it because that rivalry is so deeply, deeply embedded. Now, this is a wordle of why Red Sox fans hate the Yankee fans, right? And we can see words like obnoxious, loud, arrogant, aggressive, angry, annoying. Now, this is why Yankee fans hate the Red Sox. What do we see? Obnoxious, rowdy, angry, arrogant. This is what we do, right? We get so fixed in the other person's identity because it means that our identity is then shored up, that we are unwilling to shift. We are unwilling to open up and be and do and show up in a way that actually allows us to touch the commonality of our uncommon love. So this video, Monica Walsh, thank you so much. She brought this. This is an older video. When she shared it with me, I was like, I remember this. This is so cool. And it's really perfect for what we're talking about around bitter rivals. Right, so we're going to share this video. Are we good with the sound? All right.
I would describe my political views as the new right.
I'd say that I'm left.
Feminism today is man-hating.
I would describe myself as a feminist, 100%.
I don't believe that climate change exists.
We're not taking enough action on climate change.
I think it's about time these people got off the high horse and started looking for credible problems that actually exist.
It's absolutely critical that trans people have their own voice.
That's not right. You can't, you know, you're a man, be a man, or you're a female, be a female.
Women do need to remember that we need you to have our children.
Could I be friends with someone that says a woman's place in the home?
Right, okay, well, I'm an expert at flat packs. If you have any trouble, just watch me.
So it looks like I've got your instructions here.
I think so.
Let me help you.
It's just that bit there.
Describe what it is like to be you in 5 adjectives.
Okay, frustrating.
Dedicated.
Opinionated.
Lucky.
Ambitious.
Offensive.
Solemn. I have ups and downs.
Strong.
I don't want to say attacked. Misunderstood.
Name 3 things you and I have in common.
We're both male, we're both confident, and we're both loudly spoken.
We know each other better than people who've known each other for 10 minutes should.
You seem quite ambitious and positive, and you've got this really, got a glow. Do you know what I'm saying? Your aura's pretty cool.
I'm sensing, are you former military or something?
People have said that, but there is no history. So are you then ex-military?
Yeah.
If you're ex-military, I'm very proud of you already.
Well,
so
I grew up in a bit of a rough state. I've experienced homelessness. I've known what it's like to have absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely most grateful just for life.
We've only just met, but I think you're the sort of person that would listen to me and we'd have a discussion rather than argue.
Yeah, you could hang out with, man.
let's go. My chance.
Goodness sake.
You're right, mate.
Fitter than I look.
Perfecto.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So basically, I think we just built a bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, each take a bottle and place it on its corresponding markings on the bar.
Attention, please now stand to watch a short film.
Feminism today is definitely an excuse for misandry, man-hating.
If somebody said to me that climate change is destroying the world, then I'd say that is total piffle.
So transgender, it is very odd. We're not set up to understand or see things like that.
I am a daughter, a wife. I am transgender.
I feel like the battle for feminism definitely isn't done. The fight is never going to be over, if I'm honest with you.
You now have a choice. You may go, or you can stay and discuss your differences over a beer.
I'm only joking.
You had me for a second then.
Well, I'm having a drink.
I'm having a drink.
Yeah.
I want to discuss.
Beer.
Yeah, beer and discuss.
Cheers.
At the end of the day, mate,
About
I've
reaching
enjoyed
out to
working with
people,
you.
yeah. And, you know, even if you wanted to convince people about your point, the productive thing to do would be to sit down and have a
Just
beer.
engage.
I've been brought up in a way where everything's black and white, but life isn't black and white.
Yeah, I'm just me.
Yeah.
Smash the patriarchy.
I'll give you my mobile number, you give me yours, and we'll keep in touch. I'd have to tell my girlfriend that I'll be texting another girl. She might be a bit upset with that, but I'll have to get round that.
I'll have to tell my girl that
She'll have to lump it.
So, yeah, okay, it's a beer commercial, but it's a really good beer commercial, right? This is what Daryl Davis did, right? And we're going to read about Daryl Davis this week, black musician who ended up having a beer and a drink with a member of the Ku Klux Klan. And in that conversation, as like the guy said to him, you know, I'm a member of the Klan, and so Daryl had this question in his mind since he was a young kid and he first got exposed to the hate that is racism. And so he said to him, you know, I really want to understand, why do you hate me when you don't even know me? And they ended up having a conversation. And they ended up exchanging phone numbers. And every time Daryl would come into town to play, this guy would come, and he ends up leaving the Klan. And not only does he end up leaving the clan, but he brings other people with him, and they end up leaving the clan. And Daryl has now made this it's part of his life's work. Over 200 members of the clan have left the clan because of his interactions with them. Because he was willing to be truly present with them. He was respectful with them. He was curious with them. He was willing to listen. And in that process, I know that, yes, we see the white supremacist sees the light. But Daryl has been changed as well. It's not a one-way street. He is a different human. He has a greater sense of compassion. He has a greater sense of understanding about how these kinds of stereotypes get created and how these stereotypes become fixed in our understanding, and how hard it is to break those open. So part of what the invitation is this week with the work that we're going to be looking at, besides this idea of, how do we show up like Daryl Davis, right? I mean, that's the call, right? How do we be that open? How do we be that present when someone is directing animosity at an identity that is rooted in sort of like nothing we can do about it? It's who we are authentically. And it really comes down to deep listening. And that's really what we see in that commercial. So the setup gave those folks an opportunity to listen deeply to each other before they knew these things that put them on opposite sides of each other. And creating a sense of connection. And the commercials put together really well. They do things together. They don't just sit and talk. They're building things together. They're forced to interact in a task. I mean, this was part of last week's reading, right? The difference between task conflict and relational conflict, and how we often conflate the two of them. And so because they're involved in a task, it creates a sense of connection. And in that sense of connection, they're not looking for where they don't agree. They are looking for the places of commonality. And because of that, they are then able to bridge some pretty intense differences. If they had come in just at the beginning with that perspective about each other, we would not have ended up where we end up in this. So deep listening means letting go of what you know, really letting it go. Trusting your own values, trusting you don't have to push those values on other people, trusting that those values are going to guide you. And we here in Unity, our values are always our absolute principles of love and joy and grace and faith and life. Those are our values. And then it also means that we are willing to create a space for something else to happen, that we're willing to be surprised. You can bet that those folks did not imagine that they were going to make friends with somebody who had said the exact opposite of something that was very important to them, right? That they were actually going to truly make a deep, deep connection. And that's because they were open to possibility. They had no idea why they were there. And because they had no idea why they were there, they had no agenda ahead of time. So can you begin to step into your world with the willingness to deeply listen, right? To deeply listen, not only to others, but also to yourself. Because all of this is about ultimately living the most authentic life you can. That's what we believe in Unity, that we are here to strip away the masks. We're here to strip away the should-haves and ought-tos. We're here to show up as our most authentic, radiant, divine, uniquely expressed being that we are in time and in space. And there is so much freedom on the other side of that. You could see it in them, yeah? There's so much freedom when we actually can show up as our most authentic self, and we are with others who are willing to embrace and see, even if they don't understand it, our most authentic self. That's the place, the bridge, that we are all always being invited into, because that is how we create the safe space. that has room for conflict, that welcomes differences, that is anchored in trust and safety, is by being willing to deeply listen past that ego. We love our ego. We don't want to make the ego evil, but the ego makes a lot of decisions for us that are based on a very narrow understanding of what is possible. And if we actually open up and place our trust and our faith in the very truth of who we are, I am, you are, that person is divine. Are you willing to see it? Are you willing to lean into that? You don't have to like them. The invitation is to love them. To love them, to make space, like that deep, deep, absolute love. So, our affirmations for today is I am willing to make room for conflict. I welcome differences. I anchor myself in trust and safety. Look around the room. I anchor you in trust and safety. I am willing to think again. And so it is. There's room to dance up here, you guys.
Sometimes I'm right and I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. The butcher, the banker, the drummer, and then makes no difference what group I'm in. I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah. There is a blue one who can't accept the green one for living with a fat one who's trying to be a skinny one. Different strokes for different folks. So on and so on and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Ooh, sha-sha. We got to live together. I am no better and neither are you. We are the same, whatever we do. You love me, you hate me, you know me, and then you can't figure out the bag I'm in. I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah. There is a yellow one who won't accept the black one, who won't accept the white one, won't accept the red one. Different strokes for different folks. So on and so on and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah. There is a short hair, doesn't like the long hair, but being such a rich one will not help the poor one. Different strokes for different folks. So on and so on and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Ooh, sha-sha. We got to live together. There is a yellow one that won't accept the black one, won't accept the white one, won't accept the red one. different strokes for different folks. So on and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Ooh, sha, sha. I am everyday people.
I gotta say, that's like my favorite thing about you guys, that you love to dance with me up here. Oh, so we have a special ceremony that we're going to be doing today. So we had a ceremony where we thanked Sandra Malot for her service on the board, and Denise Ruelas, who has also been serving on the board, is now living too far away for her to be able to continue and to finish out the term of her office. So at the last annual meeting, the community nominated community members to be part of the nominating committee for the Board of Trustees. So with 2 openings on the Board of Trustees, that nominating committee was reached out to. They spoke to a bunch of people, names were put forward, and I am happy to say that 2 wonderful, wonderful, wonderful humans were selected. And I want to say, actually, 2 wonderful, wonderful, wonderful humans said yes. So how this is going to work is they are both going to be finishing out the term of the 2 board members who rolled off. And at our next annual meeting that we will have in 2023, the community will get to vote again on who our board of trustees is going to be. Right, so they're filling in until the annual meeting. And then the whole community gets to vote and to have a say as to, and hopefully, I'm hoping, that they both get to continue because they're amazing, amazing people. So I'd like to invite Monica Walsh and Nancy Foster to come on up here. Can you do the stairs? Can we move a chair over here for Monica so that she can you get over here so the camera can see you? And we'll get a chair for her so that she can sit. There we go. All right, I'm going to come down over here so that everyone can see you and you're able to look at me. So, in accepting the call to serve on the Board of Trustees, you, Nancy, and you, Monica, have both said yes to leadership and loving service. And I'm going to ask some questions, and if you agree, please say, I do. Do you promise to share your gifts and talents freely in service to Unity in Marin? I do. Do you commit to being open and receptive to the needs of the community? Do you promise to support the ever-expanding vision of this spiritual community and leadership? I do. Do you commit to being a space for the fulfillment of this vision? I do. Do you promise to be faithful to truth principles and the mission of Unity in Marin, which is being committed to authenticity and the expression of love and support for each other in living an awakened and enlightened life? Through your willingness to serve the spiritual community with love, faith, and joy, you are hereby installed as the newest members of the Unity in Marin Board of Trustees. And if I could get all the board members up here. Can I just get any board members who are here to come on up here? I want to make sure everybody can see who our Board of Trustees are. Barbara Cochran, She's here. Come on down, Barbara. Lynn Forsey. So Barbara is our vice president. Lynn is our treasurer. Nancy Foster, who we just installed. Al Gaspari, who was playing soccer with his son today, is the president of the board. James Henry and Marilyn Murata Kochar is currently our secretary. Kathleen O'Dea and Monica Walsh. Can we give everybody some love? So we have a board table set up just outside the alcove that is going to be there every single week. There will always be a board member there. The minutes from the board meetings, the financials are all there. They're here to talk to you, to be connected with you. So just know that that is a place where if you have any questions about governance, that these are the folks that you want to speak to. Thank you, everybody. Peace and blessings. This is still me. We have so much going on this month, you guys. It's super exciting. So it's time for our giving and receiving. The ushers will be passing the baskets in just a few minutes. It's an opportunity to really just listen in your heart as to what it is that you're giving and getting, because it's all the same in unity, this giving and receiving. We have a fabulous fall fundraiser that we are running right now. And what I love about this fundraiser is an opportunity for everyone in the community to be able to participate. So Lynn Forsey and Kevin Seaver have graciously started a $20,000 matching challenge as our fall fundraiser. And the goal of this is to uplift and revitalize the community. And we're going to be running this through the end of the month. We're going to have a big party on October 30th to celebrate, and a big reveal as to how much money we've actually raised. Because what I want everybody in here focusing on, and what I want you focusing on in the live stream world, is I want you to focus on the consciousness of prosperity, which means being a participant in the giving and the receiving. There is no amount in the mind of God. There is just the place, the space that we give from in consciousness. So we're inviting people to give in denominations of 12 because we're honoring the 12 powers. And whether it is 12 cents, $1.20, $12 to $12,000. Hey, let's go to $120,000, right? Let's hold that. So wherever it is, 240, right? 360, 1,200. Please just take a moment and think about what it is that Unity in Marin means to you and what it is that you get. And the invitation is for this to be in addition to your normal tithe. So this is our fundraiser. So the idea is that we're not taking money from our regular offering and putting it in the fall fundraiser because we've already budgeted the regular offering. So this is on top of our regular giving, right? There is an envelope in your bulletin that you can use. You can also see one of the board members. They'll have an iPad, and they can run credit cards for you if that's a way that you would like to give. And that you can also do for your regular tithe, too. You can see the board member after service to be able to give by credit card if you prefer to give that way. And I'm now going to turn this over to James. You can come on up. I'm just going to do really quick. So for those on live stream, you can use the QR code on your screen. You can go on our website. You can text. If you've got our app on your phone, you can text. You can give right through the app on your phone. You can text any amount to 84321, and that will automatically come to Unity in Marin. You can call us, and you can always mail it to us.
That's what I came up here to say. Thank you, DeeAnn. Next. Ushers, and Bonnie, thank you for subbing for me today. Ushers will be coming around with the offertory basket. You might place your hands on your heart and just feel what is perfect for you. And let's sing. right, announcement time. All right, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I normally speak kind of half speed, 3/4 speed. I listen to my podcasts at double speed. All right? Now, I've been charged with moving this along, so, all right, at the end of service, at the side door, Rev DeeAnn will be there to greet any new members, and we have a special gift for you. And right outside the courtyard, we have goodies. Thank you, community, for all of the wonderful treats out there. There's a book cart for the a love offering book cart. There are used and some new books there. So, and this is, I understand, the last day that they're going to be out there. So check it out, leave a little donation, and read. Biodanza is happening today at right after service, 11:45. And let's see, our buttons. We have a workshop or roundtable discussion right after service, again at 11:45. If you have any questions around the pronouns. I know I had a few questions, and he, him, I am. Yeah. We have another Faith in Action Connection Circle. This is with Rev DeeAnn. The last one was great. Next one is on October 9th at 12 o'clock. And then this next one, you can register online. It's Wednesday, October 12th at 7 with Karen Drucker and Deborah Winters. It promises to be an amazing evening. Then we have a couple of drum circles too. This first one is the one that meets on the second Thursday, and it'll be led by Kim Atkinson. It's open to all right, so get your drum on. Second one is led by Karen Drucker. Yeah, and that's the third Wednesday of the month, and that is open to anyone who identifies as female. All right, let's see. Reverend DeeAnn, I'm going to have you come back up.
Reverend Cynthia is coming, you guys. We're going to get to meet her in person. So lots of wonderful things happening here in the community. So this workshop over October 20th, 21st, 22nd, is that right? Yep, is open to anyone in the community. Who is it open to? Anyone. Okay, so anyone can register for these workshops. So the first one is Thursday night. That'll be an opportunity to meet Reverend Cynthia, and she's got something planned around the transformative power of community. And then the leadership training is going to happen Friday night and Saturday morning, so it's 2 days. So if you sign up for the leadership training, you want to come to both pieces because they're connected. Right? More information about all of this is on our website, and her assessment that she did, and thank you again to everybody who took the time to talk to her and do the listening circles and be interviewed. Her assessment, there's a hard copy that's available outside, just outside the bookstore, and it's also on our website as a PDF. Is it available on our website? Yes. Okay, awesome.
Thank you, Reverend DeeAnn. All right. On Sunday, October 23rd, we'll have a celebration of life for our Sioux Summer. So if you can make it, please be here. And then save the date, October 30th. Lou Brown. He'll be celebrating his 80th birthday, and I know Colleen also celebrated her 80th. And so we'll have a Harvest Fest, potluck, end of our challenge celebration, Halloween. We'll have a service table, barbecue. All right, Unity and Marin prayer chaplains. If you can please rise. They are all here to support us. They are wearing the white stole, and after service, you might want to just tap one on their shoulder, and they do amazing things. Thank you. And I hear the little ones outside. So we'll be standing and welcoming the youth, giving them a blessing. Then after we do that, please remain standing and we'll sing our peace song. Look at that little guy. If you can all rise, please.
Our wonderful children's program, there's Burke going down the center aisle. So we have a blessing that we say to the children, and we say it to the children that we are, and we say it for the children of the world. We particularly say it for the kids who are in the midst of whatever they're in the midst of in Florida right now, right? And just imagine if you had grown up hearing this, right? So we're going to say this together. You are God's perfect expression of divine life. We love you just the way you are, and so it is. He's seeing himself in the monitor.
All right, let's say our, what do we call this? Prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God washes over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. Amen. And